Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
What happened? And I am Stefan. And it's...
So not just...
Same old.
I think that our listeners are seeing it need to be...
Like, finally.
Finally.
Heard about them.
No.
So, go ahead.
So today, you have brought two beers to surprise me with.
I have. So, as you may remember, I went to Italy this summer.
Yes.
But then I have also been to Brussels this summer as well. And while I was there, I thought I should bring back some Belgian beers.
Good boy.
Now, when you say Belgian beers, there's two school of thoughts on this. I find there's the people that are in for the traditional Belgian sugar cane, or what they call it, rock sugar beer.
Yeah. So like Abbey beers.
Abbey beers.
Double, quadruple,
trace. Chimay and Orval and Duval and things like that. Or Duvel. And then there's the other side of that coin, which is the lambic side, which is also extremely big, but a much smaller subset of people.
Yes.
So there's the Cantillon and 3F and Boone and Tilquin and all of those places. And you would think that when you went to Brussels in particular, you would see a lot of both. And you do see a lot of, so we'll call them traditional Belgian styles, where we'll call lambics more of a new Belgian style, even though they're both equally old.
Sure.
But popularity-wise, I think lambics are
Lambics
newer.
went through a 20, 30-year hiatus where
Basically,
only the most diehard were making it and buying it.
Right. And so what you can find everywhere are these double, quadruple, triple, Abbey style beers.
Exactly.
Very, very easy. However, your lambics and your gueuze makers aren't that prevalent in the shops, which was a bit of a surprise. Because you would think like all of those little gueuzeries are right around that area. I mean, basically, I think all of them are right there. There's actually called a lambic trail where you can, hop from one lambic brewery to the next one.
And once a year, you're supposed to do the Tour de Gueuze, where you hop on a bicycle and you visit all of them.
Right, and they're not that far apart. It's going to be a day's biking, but it's not so far that you can't, do it.
Exactly.
Because they're all really, really close to each other. So you would think that you would see all of them in the shops and everything, but not as much as you would think, not as much as I expected. On the other side, there is a growing new market for the more popular craft beer styles. And so that's what we're going with today, is the more popular, or I would say the less popular craft beer styles. Because these are actually much harder to find.
Yes, I can imagine.
There's only a few shops I went to that actually had a lot of, say, IPAs and stouts and pilsners and things like that. So what I brought back were two of these new styles.
I am excited.
The newest styles.
The first one has a quite interesting name.
Yes, this is called Urine. It's a double IPA coming in 7%, and it's made by Brasserie du Borinage together with Bastard Brewers. Yep, that's all it says.
So urine. So pee,
Yes.
basically.
Basically, yes.
That's nice.
I think it's what what you get after you drink the beer.
Yes. So, but if your pee looks like this,
You're definitely dehydrated.
yes, you need water.
Yes, you also might want to see a doctor because you might be on the verge of kidney failure.
And there aren't that many yeast clumps in the beer.
Yeah. All right. Well, this looks pretty good.
It's quite dark orange. What's the word? Color is the word.
Color, yes.
I think I'm searching for color. It's very bad podcasting where there's silence for several seconds.
Basic words are eluding us.
Yes. There's not much of a hop aroma.
No.
Some sweet malty, almost like if this was a pilsner.
Yeah, it's very light. I was just going to see if there was a canning date on the here, but it says best before April 29th, 2023.
Whoa. It's like...
Like 7%.
Fair enough.
It's a long shelf life on this bad boy.
I've seen an IPA that's 7%. That's the magic. That's the magic number.
Yep. All right, let's try this out.
Let's try it. Cheers.
Well, I mean, that's drinkable. That's about the only thing I can say about this, because it doesn't really have much flavor.
Very little hop flavor.
Yeah.
The aftertaste is quite yeasty.
Kind of.
Which is not surprising for a Belgian beer. I mean, the beers you mentioned, like Orval and Duvel and stuff like that, they have a big yeast component, especially the Belgian blondes of that kind. I am surprised that this is an IPA or even a double IPA, as to say. I wouldn't have been surprised if this was like a Belgian blonde.
Yeah, me either. It does have that very Belgian blonde nature to it. It is. It's very mild. It's very easy to drink. It's not gonna. You're not gonna have any problems drinking this beer because you're not really gonna get much flavor out of it.
It's kind of boring.
It's extremely boring.
If I were to rank it as an IPA only, then I would the aftertaste would detract from the rating because
there's no hops really to speak of.
Yeah, and I don't want this aftertaste in an IPA.
Yeah.
But it would fit the bill for any other of these Belgian styles, like a Belgian triple with this aftertaste would work, even though they need Belgian triples need a bit more flavor as well. The name and the can is what sells it, not the flavor, unfortunately.
It's really the name. And when you see a beer called Urine, you just kind of have to go with it. You have to try it at least.
Do we know the hops?
I honestly, the text on the can is kind of difficult to read, so I couldn't make out that much.
Internet does not say. It's Centennial, Citra, and Amarillo.
Okay.
The yeast is US 05, and the grains are Pilsner malt, Carapils, Vienna, and Avoine, which is probably French for some grain that we should know.
Probably.
We're supposed to get, in French, fruits tropicaux.
Tropical fruits, yeah.
Agrumes.
Okay.
And pichat de mangue. Pichat de mangue, probably mango of some kind. Pichat de mangue. Pichat de mangue.
What do you call it?
Pichat de mangue. No, it is mango, definitely.
Okay.
But what is pichat? Maybe it's mango bits.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't get any of that.
This is not. This is What's on Tap podcast. This is not quel bière à la prison.
I was going to say quel fromage.
Quel fromage. If you ever go to France or a French-speaking country and they don't speak any English, all you need to do to get the beer is to go into the place and say à la presson, which basically is from the tap or from the press.
Yeah.
And they will give you a beer. It's their equivalent of saying Swedish store stark.
Yeah.
But when we're now returning to this beer, I can't give it that high. It's lacking the flavors. It's missing the style.
I'm not going to give it a high rating, but I'm going to give it a middle of the road rating. So for me, this is like a 3. I
was going to go 3.25.
Yeah, I was going to say 3.25. 3 because it's very drinkable.
Yeah.
It's very easy. The 7%, it blends well. You'll enjoy it while you're drinking it, but you'll never come back to this beer outside of the name. That's the only reason you'll ever remember this. And because that was like 3253 for me as well.
Yeah, that's where it'll land.
All right, let's jump to the next beer.
This one seems really fun. So the beer is called Black Heaven Dreams, and it's created by Galea Craft Beers from Antwerp, but it's brewed by brewery Utropius. I think they're located in Menen, Belgium. And it is a Russian Imperial Stout with cookies and cream barrel-aged bourbon barrels.
The Heaven Hill bourbon barrel is really fun. It smells good.
I haven't smelled it yet. I'm really looking forward to it. It clocks in at 13.5 ABV.
Yeah.
And the ingredients list has a very interesting thing. So it's barley malt, sure. Then Oreo crumble with a registered trademark symbol after Oreo.
They paid the money and they used real Oreos.
Yes. You wouldn't be able to you wouldn't be allowed to write Oreo registered trademark crumble if you didn't actually use them.
I mean, I guess technically you could, but it would be false advertising at that point.
Kind of.
Oh man, this smells.
It does. It smells really good, actually.
Black Heaven Dreams.
Do you often have Black Heaven Dreams?
Constantly. But we won't get into that today. All right, cheers, man. Cheers. Yeah, so this has definitely a lot of bourbon on the nose, and there's a slight vanilla-y kind of from the look on Martin's face is like he's having Black Heaven Dreams right now.
No, I tasted it, and then I realized, oops, Stefan is still on the aroma. I need to hide the fact that my mouth is completely full of beer.
Yeah, no, it's good. So what do you think?
The bourbon part is good. There's a slight acidity. Not other people seem to hate that wood acidity more than I do. I'm quite lenient on it, but it is.
I think it depends on how strong it is. Like this is very subtle. It's not like sometimes it becomes really sour, almost kind of like it's bad. This is just kind of there as a to help balance it, I think, a little bit.
There's a little bit of vanilla, sweetness, sugar that might be from the Oreos, or it might just be the beer.
Yeah.
If we didn't read the ingredients, I would not say that this contained Oreos.
Yeah.
They have a quite distinct flavor, I think.
Well, we've had the
Prairie
Oreo beer.
But didn't you hate that one?
I did hate that beer.
And I didn't.
Much.
We did not drink that together.
No, we didn't. I think I had my own bottle of it. And I tried it, and I was just like, this tastes horrible. And like, I was in the minority of on that one.
Even with the people you were drinking it with?
I don't remember drinking. I think I've had it on my own. I think it was one of those things where everyone I knew had it but me. And so I just had it. Or maybe twice, actually. So I was like, you just got a bad bottle of it. And
maybe.
And then I tried it the second time. I was like, no, I definitely do not like this beer.
I don't remember the name, but that one was way heavier in Oreo.
Stuffed or double stuffed or
might be
something like that.
I mean, this is a good beer.
I'm trying to warm it up just a little bit in my hands because it feels like it's a little on the cold side.
Sure, I'll do the same.
Because I'm not getting. I don't think there should be more of the kind of cookie vanilla. Chocolate notes in this. I'm not really getting that very much, so I'm trying to warm it up just a little bit.
Then I can quickly interject. We talk about Black Heaven Dreams. I actually very recently had a beer-related dream. It was actually a money-related dream. I dreamt that I came into possession of 100 million in cash that wasn't really stolen, and it was definitely untraceable, but it was mysteriously gotten. But I couldn't put it in my bank account because the government would then say,
right, where did you get this money from?
What are you doing? So I needed to find ways to get it into circulation. And I went to the casino and they were like, no, we need to do background checks.
Yeah.
I spent so much time in the dream on this. What I ended up doing was I started a micro bar, a beer bar here in Malmo, in the tiniest little area. There was like room for 4 sitting people. But I kept ordering in beers from importers, And then I bought the beers myself with the cash.
That's a great money laundering scheme. We should do this.
And then immediately my bar becomes like the success story of the region. It's making so much money.
Right.
And there's a receipt for everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's legit, but everyone seems to be paying in cash.
Yeah.
What a big mystery. And it ended up like you and our other beer friends, you were the only ones ever sitting there because you got free beer all the time because I kept buying my own bottles and then just opening them.
I like this dream. This is an amazing dream.
But you can imagine that this was a super intense dream.
So in the end, did we all die of cirrhosis of the liver?
No, but it was like when we had tastings. Mm-hmm. We didn't finish any of them because we didn't need to. Everything was free. So we bought these 500 kroner meads. We sip, dump the rest. Because all of this is now positive income.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter if you drink it or not. I just need the revenue.
Yes, I just need to basically open and get rid of all of this.
To hide all the evidence.
So that was pretty weird.
Yeah, no, that's a good dream. That's a lot of fun. So what do you think about this beer?
At 13%, I expected it to be heavier. Mm-hmm. It's quite watery, but not really. I mean, it is a stout.
It's not the oily stout like you get from like Omnipolo or Demoslutl. It's more of a lighter mouthfeel for sure. However, I feel like there should be more cookies and cream.
Yes.
And I feel like the booziness of the Heaven Hill barrels really overpower the beer.
All the other flavors just dissipate. They just go bye-bye.
Yeah. It's a little too boozy for what it is.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's still tasty though.
I think I'm at a 4.
I'm actually going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah.
Simply because for me it's just so one note, and I feel like there should be more to it than just the overwhelming barrel flavoring.
Yeah. When we drink more of it, maybe it'll land at a 3.75, but not a 3.5. I don't think it'll go that low for me.
All right.
I don't think the booziness is overpowered. I don't think the booziness overpowers the flavors. I think the flavors are just not there from the start.
That's very possible.
Because it's a quite nice booziness.
They needed more Oreo, is what you're saying.
I want this bourbon booziness in more beers.
Yeah, I mean, I think
together with the other flavors.
I think the bourbon booziness is really good as like a base, kind of.
Yeah.
It just needs more. If they just said it was a bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout, great. But once you start adding, again, it goes back to the whole thing. If you're telling me something's on the can and I don't get that, then your beer fails.
I know you will be disappointed.
But yeah, I'd say overall it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
we ran out of things to say.
Well, I just thought of a technical issue we may have experienced that I will need to check after this episode. So either we re-record this episode in a couple of minutes or you get this one. So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you can find quality podcasts, you can find What's on Tap. So until next time.
Keep drinking, you dum-dums.